We started running between the cricket in Dhaka with its impassioned and unthreatening fans. 6 weeks, 8 cities, a couple of them twice, and we ended with a somewhat aggressive, entitlement-laden mob in Mumbai, some of it anyway. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, given the number of interesting people we met and the new ideas we were exposed to and got to explore. The grinding exhaustion was probably worth it.
I'm overwhelmed at the breadth and depth of this experience, and it'll take me a while to even understand what this has meant for me. But I have a feeling it's a significant milestone in my life. I should look back quite fondly at this period.
Here is a montage of some of our memorable moments, at least from the show, for us. See you again sometime.
Eden Gardens. Fair enough, Eden Gardens, but that's full stop.
Dhoni is like a caveman. You know, if you locked a man in a cave, what kind of cricket would he play? He would play like Dhoni. There's a kind of cathartic violence in the way he plays.
Yeah, that's going to help the spinners. And also the groundsman, not only has he left kind of tufty bits of green grass on top, but also some fairly sizable roses and other plants, and even a kind of a stick sticking up there. And really that's got to help the bowler.
This is exciting in baseball. Makes me want to kill myself.
I'm almost worried now that, like, you can't ever beat that was it. You know, I went to one fight and it was Ali Foreman.
The open spaces, the grounds that were available to us as youngsters today are not available to, say, my son.
It must be the shock from last night's game. This is the morning after the night before when...
You looked serious before the game?
Well, that was the morning after the previous night when I was quite tired.
You looked serious before that too?
No, I hadn't seen you before that.
जो मॉडल है ना पूनम, उसने मतलब भारत को चैलेंज किया है कि जेकर भारत जीत जाता है फाइनल में,
हाँ जी,
तो मैं स्टेडियम के विचकार में सारे कपड़े उतार के मतलब खड़ी हो जाऊंगी.
He looks like he's lost a bit of timber, to be honest.
He's had a bit of a stomach bug as well. Are you thinking as a team now of hiring a dog for Ahmedabad, or maybe getting Piers Chowla to dress up in a dog outfit?
Yeah, maybe, if that works for us, I'm definitely going to have one.
It was a very bitter blow, very difficult to deal with, and there were people who were telling me you're not good enough, so that even hurt even more.
I found that real merit was not recognized.
I would say that whatever is growing here is growing in its own time, and whatever is dying in its own time.
If it's just a South Indian thing or if it's the city, but there is a level of restraint which I find very attractive.
So, this is a Payangalathu meter, Pudu Marila. Just for a formality. Formality.
அதுக்கு என்ன பண்ண சொல்றீங்க? நாங்க பண்றது பண்றோம், நீங்க பண்றது பண்ணுங்க. பொதுமக்கள் தவிக்கிறது தவிக்கிட்டோம். நாம ஏற்பாடு பண்ணி இருக்கிறது இதுதான். இதெல்லாம் ஏரியில தான் போயினாரு.
This is actually my first official drive with a test cricketer.
This is Jahan Mubarak.
This is my first drive with Cricket for video correspondence.
Shanika, listening to your show, big fan. Don't you think that Ricky Ponting should be whipped publicly? Sanjay from Nugegode. Go on. You retired now, Russell. No, but you're still in the commentary panel, aren't you? You can't say what you really think. Do you remember offhand Russell Arnold's impact index?
No, I don't.
No?
I don't.
He was rubbish.
He just hit me.
He was rubbish. I think
he was not rubbish actually.
Now the players are coming with a on the TV for the money. They may come, and they will come without dress.
Suresh Raina is a Kashmiri boy, मगर खेलता है यूपी के लिए. त्रट पड़ गई है कि वैली को. अगर तो वहाँ सिस्टम होता और अगर बम नहीं फट रहे होते तो खेलता उधर से. When the ball connects with the bat, that sound TV doesn't get. That timbre of sound is just too beautiful.
I mean, come on.
You go through, half a meter of rudeness where these buffoons who are sitting there in Delhi police uniforms are basically just randomly,
Just half an hour before the end of the match, supposed to be a press conference, and yet we are
Only two of them made opening statements. Ricky Ponting as the current holder of the cup, and Mahendra Singh Dhoni
as the future holder of the cup.
I guess.
No jingoism there. It's just pure practical rationale.
Yeah, right. We'll see about that. And then all of a sudden, we find this moving cage, this green moving cage.
which is the auto rickshaw which is barred from outside. The driver is barred, literally. And later we found this was done to prevent the passenger from mugging the driver. And what an effective solution, because apparently it's worked big time.
Correct. Except good luck catching one that's empty. Maybe this innocence comes from a lack of entitlement. And I hope that innocence stays and doesn't go the way it's gone in India, although the signs surely seem to be there.
The one thing that stands out for me as far as Dhaka is concerned is the density of population, which particularly comes out after the sun has gone down. And you know, there must be something that makes these people, that changes the way these people feel, and the energy that gets dissipated with the amount of time it takes in traffic, how to get from one place to another, and it must make an impact on their day-to-day life.
Right, but despite all these hardships, one gets the feeling that people just carry on with their lives.
Like this shop, for example.
There was no power just in this one shop, and still they were carrying on as if it was business as usual.
They were working under candlelight without blinking an eye, and somehow one just feels that this is the ethos of Bangladesh, whatever we experienced in 5-6 days, and I think we look forward to coming back here.
This one gentleman recently got a Nobel Prize, right? He brands this country. Next thing we know, we want to sack him. We want to fire this guy, right? And what was the reason? He's 70 years old and the retirement age is 60, right? It took Bangladesh Bank 10 years to figure it out.
We had the stones being thrown at the West Indies bus, and I thought that was misinterpreted. And in fact, the Bangladesh Cricket Board have cleared it up, and they've said it was in fact merely over-enthusiastic geologists who were so impressed with the West Indian performance that they wanted to get their favourite rocks signed by the players. You know, just a bit of autograph hunting gone wrong.
I'm not sure if it's only religion, but if it isn't only religion, I'm also not sure what else it could be.
Since we lost badly against West Indies, so we thought like if Pakistan can beat West Indies badly, then we can take a revenge out of it.
The people here do believe that we was once the part of Pakistan. So we was used to say East Pakistan.
I think Kohli has like a strange wrong-footed action as well.
It looked like his head was going to come off when he was bowling for that. When he was bowling, it looked like he was trying to take his shirt off while he was bowling.
What's this?
He was trying to bowl and get ready for a swim at the same time.
When I asked one umpire, he said yes. Right? But I said no. He looked at me quizzically. Why? I said because the ball whose diameter is 2.5 centimeters, even if it clips 0.3 of that centimeter of the diameter, it could still dislodge a bail.
At the age of 8, I was there, and I probably influenced it. You know, I was, I had a prominent forehead even at that stage. I think the sun glinting off it is possibly what distracted the Indian batsmen in the early stages, as they say.
9 for 4 happened because of that?
Yep, 9 for 17 for 5. Then the sun moved clearly, and the reflection wasn't quite as prominent. So
had I written the book in the season immediately after I got dropped, you may have seen the bitterness there. But since there were a few seasons to contemplate, to really lick my wounds, and I went into a shell, I came out of it, learned that it's not going to help if I'm actually brooding over what has happened in the past.
I never bothered also, never bargained and never expected. If you pay me, I'm happy. If you don't pay, I'm equally happy. So money was not it. I told you, it is my pleasure and hobby. Just because I have my material, it is for you for use by you.
But do you feel people take advantage of you sometimes because of
Not
this?
always, not always.
But sometimes?
Sometimes yes. But then this is the fate of every cricket lover like this, backstage artist.
Which suggests that contrary to what I sometimes think about the individualism that comes through Mumbai School of Cricket, these guys want to live as a team, even off the cricket field.
And you know what else is interesting? Given that Gavaskar and Shastri stay here, that is a bank on the ground floor.
This really silly aggression, it's machismo at one level, and people are always trying to establish their levels with each other, you know. I'll take this guy on, let's see what he does. If he takes me on, it's good, then we've sort of established that he's also a competitor and he's like up for the challenge, and now we can agree to be friends.
उमर गुल ने पूरी टूर्नामेंट में बेहतरीन बॉलिंग की थी। आज आपको क्यों लगता है वो इतने चूक गए बिगिनिंग में? आज वो क्यों इतने चूक गए अपनी बॉलिंग में? उनकी बॉलिंग ठीक नहीं पड़ी। उनकी अब मेरे ख्याल में इतने मैचों में अच्छा किए एक आधा दिन बुरा भी आता है, सब पे आता है, आप पे भी आएगा। आते बुरे आते या क्रिकेट हो या क्रिकेट से बाहर दिन बुरे अच्छे चलते रहते हैं।
During the match, I was personally disgusted with a lot of people in the crowd who were abusing the Sri Lankans at the drop of a hat, and people were joining in the chorus gleefully, like the match had legitimized their need to give vent to their own miserable frustrations publicly and project it on others.
I even found a whole bunch of kids going on two-wheelers screaming obscenities at the Sri Lankan team after their team had won.
And we must not forget that the spectators doing the monkey pose for Simons in that infamous 2007 incident which led to so many things after that, that happened in Mumbai. This is actually one of the most uncouth crowds in India. Given its twin focus on unbridled money and greed, and of course the tasteless cultural excesses of Bollywood, this aspect should really not be a surprise. Unlike what we saw in Dhaka, this is an aggressive crowd which indulges in organized buffoonery at times. Eve-teasing and drunkenly spewed racist comments are par for the course, just like they are during Ganesh immersion processions too. It is a bit scary to think what this kind of sporting successes will do to their already fragile sense of self-esteem, probably more aggression and a greater sense of entitlement, which is a depressing thought as an Indian. Grace is very rapidly leaving our culture. You can perhaps choose not to miss it though.
Watching all these people pour out onto the streets and exhibit their entitlement-laden exuberance makes me feel as if they don't even deserve this team. There were far more innocent times in Indian society where a win in the Cricket World Cup would actually have been of much more value to the national psyche than being reduced to just another way of chest thumping their way into the rest of the world's consciousness.
Well, there's been minor aggressive streaks. Some people drove past us and shouted out at me, "Go home, white man, go home." And to be fair to them, I do have a flight tomorrow going home, so maybe they were just reminding me of that maybe they were from the airline.